how can platform partners empower entrepreneurial advisors? I'm joined by none other than Shannon Spotswood, CEO of RFG Advisory, to learn more. Shannon, welcome.
Thank you, it's great to be here.
I always love these interviews because it is Shannon squared,
I
essentially.
know.
So one of these days we have to
Double
switch
time.
spots, but today I'm going to be the one asking you the questions. So first thing I want to dig into, obviously the wealth management landscape has undergone a very dramatic transformation in recent years. We've all been a part of it, we all know. And as someone who's really at the forefront of this evolution, what fundamental elements do you believe are essential for creating an environment where entrepreneurial advisors can really thrive in today's complex marketplace?
I think this is probably one of the most exciting times in our industry. We are in a bull market for advice without question. And the challenges you raised is that it's becoming increasingly more complex. Clients are coming to advisors, they're demanding, not just asking anymore, they are demanding a more comprehensive suite of services. Advisors are being pushed into financial life advice, healthcare planning, estate planning, tax planning. Help me live richly, not just die rich. And that is really presenting this incredible opportunity, but a very big challenge for advisors. They're faced at this moment with, how am I going to spend my time? My most valuable resource is my time, and how am I going to spend it? And yet most of them are horrible at answering this question. The data consistently tells us 60% of an advisor's time is being spent on non-revenue generating activities. So the stuff they don't love, the stuff that isn't driving enterprise value of their firm, isn't helping them to deepen those client relationships, to foster and build a vibrant team, to go out there and prospect. So right now we're living in this conundrum of unlimited opportunity, an increased demand for advice, a decreased number of advisors entering into the profession, meeting at the same time, an absence of organic growth, and a misalignment of our most valuable resource, our time.
And that's the one thing you can't make back, right? Is time at the end of the day. And as we say, everything that you see now is designed to give advisors back that time so they can focus on what they do best, which is obviously serving their clients. So, as you said, there's really been that significant shift in what advisors need from their strategic partners. So how do you envision the relationship between advisors and platform partners evolving over the next, say, 3 to 5 years?
I think this is probably one of the most exciting questions to really think about. And it's interesting because the industry, by and large, is almost tacking very aggressively to the right as we see these inorganic growth models, these aggregator models, or these enormous checks being slung around to try and really wrap advisors up in these long-term deals. And so you have this, on one side of the equation, this what looks like an attractive economic value opportunity for advisors to monetize their business or to take these large checks. But they're doing so at the expense of, how am I going to build a business that will have an enduring legacy, not just for me, but for the next gen? How am I going to serve multi-generationally clients? And most importantly, am I willing to sacrifice everything that is important to me in order to just take this big check up front today? And so when we think about what platform partners can provide, and we spend so much time at RFG really in this mindset, which is, how do you deliver services at scale that help an advisor to operationalize and professionalize their business? How do you help them create an unforgettable client experience so that they become more referable and they capitalize on those refers? And ultimately, how do you help them drive double-digit organic growth? So as we look at platform services, wrapping around advisors, everything from marketing growth services, investment management, coaching, compliance, talent development, and table stakes around compliance, that becomes the way that an advisor can get back their time, can align their team to the highest and best use of what their superpowers are, and actually be able to serve more clients and drive towards, what so many advisors are saying they want, which is the ability to 3x their business, 5x their business, 10x their business. But they can't do it if they're willing to sacrifice upfront money in exchange for poor service, or a compromised client experience, you've got to choose. You got to be on one side of the equation or the other. And we're fundamental believers in the power of independence. Advisors need to own their brand. They need to be able to have that authenticity expressed in everything that they do, including their mission, vision, and values.
Well, it's a lot to balance, right, at the end of the day, between making sure you're maintaining that client relationship and experience while also trying to grow your practice, while also wearing several other hats that advisors are expected to wear. So what approaches have you found most effective in helping advisors streamline operations while ultimately accelerating their strategic objectives?
From the beginning, RFG has been a client experience company first and a technology company second. And advisors are drowning in unused and under-leveraged technology solutions right now. So the first step really is to build a fully integrated tech experience that drives that efficiency for the team, it drives that efficiency for the advisor, and it gives them a lens into how are they spending their time. Until an advisor is willing to take off all those hats and say, what is my why? What is going to fuel my passion for this business? And am I willing to make the hard decisions to prioritize that? Which oftentimes means I'm letting go of investment management. I'm letting go of chasing bright, shiny objects on technology. I'm going to have the hard conversations with my team about what are the right roles and responsibilities to grow our business and serve our clients, not necessarily what you want to do. So RFG spends so much time in delivering that concierge level of service to wrap around an advisor so that both the advisor and their team are in a position and in a posture to be able to drive that double-digit organic growth. But you said it perfectly, you can't have it both ways. You cannot be the jack of all trades and be the chief cook and bottle washer and wear that as a badge of pride and think that you're going to have a firm that is built not only to serve your clients and prospect, but also it's not being built to be multi-generational, it's not being built to attract the talent, and it's not going to ultimately lead you to a life of happiness. And you know, if we're not having fun at work, if we're not just truly inspired by what we're doing, what are we all doing it for?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I want to talk about the other side of the coin, away from technology. But I want to talk about culture, because ultimately it's inevitable. Like, whether you want to believe it or not, culture happens. And that comes generally from the top down, and it's a really critical part of an advisor's success. So how has RFG specifically cultivated a community that prioritizes that connection and innovation and ultimately service?
It is for us, and I believe this is true, culture is one of your greatest competitive advantages because it is an intangible that cannot be competed away. But it requires a very diligent care and feeding on a daily basis. So for us, and if you were to talk to all of our advisors, our team, everybody within our corporate team, you would hear the same thing over and over again. Servant heart, growth mindset. We are builders, serving builders. Like, we are passionate about building businesses. We're passionate about this idea of everybody wants to be a part of something greater than themselves. So if you line a team of A players, if you really embolden them to take ownership over their role, if you are consistently coming back to how does this make me feel? How do we live up to that higher calling of service above self? Like, that is the culture of RFG. And we live it and we talk it. And when you come visit us, you will see all the art on the wall has all been curated around these cultural touchstones. Innovation and disruption are two sides of the same coin. Iterate to excellence, servant heart, growth mindset, it's everywhere. You talk about it, you live it, you breathe it, you make heck yes, heck no decisions based on that. And if it's going to degrade your culture, whether it's a team hire, whether it's a client, whether it's a prospect, you walk away from it because it's simply too great of a price to pay. And if you have a vibrant culture, it is ultimately your X factor for reaching all of those goals that you have shared together.
Well, folks can certainly learn a thing or two from RFG because you walk the walk, you talk the talk, and I'm totally stealing the heck yes and heck no. I'm going to walk away with that mindset. So Shannon, it is always a pleasure getting to speak with you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
For wealthmanagement.com, I'm Shannon Rosick.